Hi, my friends. This is Lada from astrolada.com with your weekly horoscope for the first week of May 2019, with specific focus on the new moon in Taurus, which is part of basically of a double or triple actually lunation, and it's the last of three lunations, starting with the first full new moon in Aries, which started at the beginning of Aries, which happened and then there was a full moon in Libra, which was exactly opposite the same constellation. And now there is a third new moon, which I'm going to show you where they're happening because it's very special. They're focused. Since 1 month, all the new moons and full moons have been focused on the same constellation called Andromeda. Andromeda spans over two signs, over Aries and Taurus. It's a constellation behind those signs, basically. The constellations are one part of astrology, the signs are a different part. And Andromeda has been the focus of major astrological events since the start of April, with the first new moon happening in Alpheratz, the star which falls at the head of Andromeda, the chained lady. Then there was a full moon in Libra, exactly opposite the middle star of Andromeda, which is at the navel of the chained lady. So the full moon shone its light exactly opposite this full moon, this the navel of Andromeda. And now this last new moon on the 4th of May is falling on the star Almach, which is exactly at the feet of Andromeda, the chained woman. So it's almost like the universe was screaming, pay attention to this constellation. It was scanning it. For 2 months, the topics are about this chained woman. And actually, when the stars rise, when Andromeda rise, the ancients would see like a woman chained to the rocks. And the universe is saying, we're breaking chains currently. That's why the new moons, basically all the planetary transits, cosmic influences, they get channeled through each new moon and full moon for the next 2 weeks. All the other transits that are happening, Saturn conjunct, the South Node with Pluto, whatever, they all have to be interpreted through the lunations, through the interaction between the sun and the moon, because they're the two lights in the sky. They're the consciousness, they're the big signs from God, and they're the queen and the king, and their combinations, which is new moons and full moons, through their combinations, we have to interpret the rest of the stars, the rest of the planetary configurations happening. So there's been such a focus on Andromeda, on the chained woman, on those habits and behaviors in our lives that chain us, that get us stuck. So we're having, the universe gave us like 2 months to work on those things. And a lot of you probably feeling such situation, either they're feeling much more chained and stuck than other times, because in order for you to pay attention to something, to bring consciousness, it has to escalate, it has to increase in power. This feeling of being chained, it might be to bad habits, it might be to pain, to anger, being stuck at your career, being stuck in relationship, being chained to painful situations or people in your life. And it intensifies with those new moons. It has intensifies that scanning Andromeda from the head to the bottom. And but why is it intensifying? So you can say enough is enough, and you can break away from it, from those chains. And I'll tell you the whole story of Andromeda, but I first want to show you um, Andromeda and the three stars that it activated this new moon, these consecutive new moons. So you see, a month ago, the new moon in Aries, the sign fell at the background of the constellation Andromeda, happening at her head. The star, there's three important stars, Alpheraz, Merak, and Almach, in the constellation of Andromeda. So the first new moon happened in the head. And if you remember, in the April new moon video, I was talking about that very much in depth. And it was kickstarted a process which will continue for another month, because then the new moon now in Taurus will activate the foot of Andromeda, Almach, exactly on the star it will fall. And it's started like a 2 month period where we are breaking away from chains, and where we become extremely aware of the things that are chaining us to the past. And I told you the story of Andromeda. She was chained to a rock by the gods because of the sins of her parents. Not sins, but her parents said she was more beautiful than the nymphs called Nereids. Sorry if I don't pronounce it correctly. And the gods got angry and they chained her there. And she's an innocent soul, just like we're all born innocent souls. But we're born into families that carry karma. And by karma, I mean that carry ancestral repetitive habits. And sorry about that. I need to quit. That is the third time I'm starting, by the way, this presentation, and I get interrupted. So someone does not want me to say what I'm about to say. Someone is upset there. But please, God, help me continue that and finish it. So um, so basically what happened is that she was chained to that rock, Andromeda. So she would, and it was none of her fault. It was the behaviors, the actions, the words spoken by her parents. And the same way we're souls, when we're born here, we pick up the ancestral patterns and behaviors of our family. Your father had anger issue, you have anger issue. Your mother had victimized state of mind, you have victimized state. Or your mother, the women in your family get divorced, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna get divorced. You perceive it with your head, and you think this is what reality is, and this is how to be. So without your fault, you get conditioned. The soul is innocent, but it gets conditioned by its environment, and we repeat the same patterns. Or all your family, a number of people were basically, say, not good not successful, poor. They didn't have good financial resources. They lived in minimal resources of some sort, or they believe that money is very hard to come by, and such things. And these things get you stuck in a situation, get you those beliefs, those things that you perceive through your head. Remember, Alpharas is in the head of Andromeda, what we perceive through our head. They chain us, they block us, they stop us. We become victims of those circumstances. And now the next new moon will be at the feet of Andromeda. So it scanned us. It scanned the head, it scanned the other star in her navel that you saw, and it scanned the third star now. It's going to go over the third star, the new moon, at her feet. Let me quickly write this here. I'm going to write the star signs now. And basically, we'll be given an opportunity to break the chains. And that's another month of breaking chains, but this is the final one. And this time we have a lot of help from the other planets. I will show you how. There we go. So there is the new moon here. It's happening in this sign of Taurus at the background of the constellation of Andromeda. And new moon is about new beginnings. New beginnings is, and the sun and the moon are considered the two, the conscious and the subconsciousness of humans. So when they combine for a little bit for the next 2 weeks, something happens alchemically. When there is a new moon, something happens alchemically, that our subconscious and our conscious, the subconscious is the moon, the conscious is the sun, they kind of can merge for a little bit, and something like an insight can come out of that. So usually our subconscious and conscious, they work in different ways. The conscious says, oh, I want to make money. The subconscious says, oh, but you can't. Your whole family, they never make money, or they are never successful, or they also have problems in relationships. Your subconscious believes that no matter how much your conscious is trying to act out the other side of the story, you need to align both to the same perception in order for some magic to happen and to shift your whole karma, so to speak. And this is what happens when there is a new moon. We get given those quick openings, cosmic portals, that we can realign both. We can have a sudden insight, or the possibility to trigger a new direction in our life, because those two forces, subconscious and conscious, merged, and they start working for a little bit in the same direction. And as we said, they merge in the feet of Andromeda. And the feet are connected in astrology with Pisces. Just like the head rules Aries, the feet rule Pisces. And Pisces is about liberation. That's why in occult, mythological, and Vedic knowledge, the feet, especially when the feet of Jesus were washed, for example, it's a symbol of uh, of liberation. It's a symbol of release as well. It's a symbol. Pisces is a moksha sign, to liberate, and the feet, of course, is what lets us move forward. From the feet depends whether we're stuck somewhere. Just like Pisces, you can be either stuck somewhere or you can move with the flow and go far ahead. So it's happening at the feet of Andromeda, like I showed you, this new moon. And it's almost like wants to break the chains. First, the chains by the head were broken, by the hands there. Something started shifting our thinking in regards to our beliefs patterns connected to ancestral behaviors that are making us stuck in a certain situation in life. And then it moved to the rest of the body, and now it's at the feet. So the feet, final chains have to be broken. We have a month for that ahead. And so we can start moving forward. We can start walking. We can walk away from the rock. You see, the story is quite grim initially about Andromeda. She's chained there, it's not her fault, and it's like that, especially, when we live less consciously, in the first 30, 40 years of our life, or 30 years, let's say, we're kind of victims of our circumstances, of our family circumstances, of where we are born. Most often it's till 30 or a bit above as well, sometimes till 40. But then we can change the story. Then the free will, and especially the sun, kicks in, the ability to utilize the powers of the sun, which is consciousness, to free will, starts kicking in. The moon usually rules life much more to the age of 30, because the moon is the subconscious patterns instilled to us by family, parents, the circumstances, environment, but the sun fully matures around the age of 30 after that. So after 30, we have the power to use our free will to change our circumstances, to change our stars, as they say, and to change, even if your horoscope says, yes, you're going to go through a lot of hardships to find love. But if you stay in that default mode, for example, it will always be like that. But after 30, you have free will to start changing things with our actions, conscious actions symbolized by the sun. And after some misadventures and difficulties, we can build, despite of what your astrology says, you can create an awesome life, even in an area which indicates negative experiences. Yes, you'll go through the negative experiences. You're not born Jesus Christ with consciousness, and when you see your father beating up your mom and you're like, that's, I'm above that. No, it's going to affect you. You're going to repeat that in your family or in your later life through relationship by attracting similar circumstances of some sort. But after that, you can consciously start changing that. And these new moons, they give us a possibility, an opening where you can start this process. And remember that, Andromeda, it's about victim state, being in a victim state, chained by the karmic actions or the karmic inheritance of your family, of your environment, of your past. And those chains are being broken now. And at the same time, there is great help happening, because at the same time there is Saturn conjunct the South Node and Pluto. That is happening in the sign of Capricorn, and it's sending a trine to this new moon, a very helpful sign. Trine aspect is helping with ease, is allowing something to happen with ease. So I would say actually that this new moon is helping this process, this painful process here of Saturn. Everyone is having Saturn conjunct the South Node somewhere in their horoscope currently, whatever Capricorn falls. And it means that they have to let go of some old structures. The South Node is to release, is the tail of the dragon, to excrete, and it's past karma, the South Node rules, while Saturn rules painful experiences. Saturn rules stagnation, being stuck. You see, it's the same theme here that we're having as the story of Andromeda that the new moon is triggering. And Pluto, of course, about total destruction and trying to rebuild again. So structures are falling down in certain area of our life. It might be mental and physical and emotional something. For some people, it might be total chaos because the old is dying out. The old that they always relied on, that made them feel secure, Saturn, those walls have to fall down. Some of you are doing it personally. You choose to do that. And you have to trust this process because the universe wants you to do this now. It's been April, it's May. This is time to let go of old structures and, situations that make you stagnant. And this new moon with the feet of Andromeda is breaking the last shackles that are tying us to some situation that we don't want to be in, to some really almost like situations where you felt stuck in that there is no way out of there. But the story of Andromeda concludes very positively because Perseus goes and saves her. And Perseus saves her and they get married and they have 6 children. So the Andromeda story starts victimhood, pain, being shackled, suffering for the sins of or for the mistakes and the karmas of your environment, of your ancestors, of your parents. But she gets saved. And Perseus is a solar being. Perseus is a solar hero, which means through the free will, through the actions of the free will. And it leads to happy marriage and 6 children. And actually, the star Almach that the new moon is happening at, the ancient seers, they said it gives reconciliation between separated partners. So this is a huge theme that you can notice, guys. Now for some of you, reconciliation between lovers, reconciliation between marriage partners, if you had a fight with someone, or any kind of partnerships, because it carries the energy of Venus, this new moon. The star Almach, where it's falling on, is under the influence of Venus, plus the sign Taurus is under the influence of Venus. And guess where Venus is, the ruler of this new moon? It's at the star Alpheratz, here in Aries, currently falling. So the ruler of the new moon falls in the head of Andromeda, while the new moon itself falls at the feet of Andromeda, making a full, encasing the constellation of Andromeda, and again putting full focus on it and saying, and always a new moon works through its ruler, and Venus being there at the head, it's saying you will be released. Your final chains from the feet, where the new moon is, are going to be released, so you can start moving forward to walk. But it's going to happen through change of some mental processes, some mental worldviews, because Venus is at the head to think. And look, Venus is making a hard aspect, which is square, to the Saturn Pluto. So both Saturn Pluto south node are affecting both the new moon and the ruler of the new moon, once with a hard aspect, once with a positive trine aspect, which is great. We like to have a hard and an easy aspect. The hard challenges us, because without the challenge, we barely are going to move our feet, to make a change. The trine, though, gives us a way out, an easy solution, gives us a resolution and support from the universe. So something is going to challenge. Some old structures will start falling apart. Something you'll release, something karmically that you've been carrying, like a burden, like a heavy, ancestral inheritance almost, that is deeply ingrained in your subconscious, deeply ingrained in your habits and patterns. It's going to challenge your head, your thinking. It's going to make you even upset. It's going to make you like, I don't like that, or it's some kind of challenge is going to happen, but it's going to facilitate the process of breaking the last chains of Andromeda at the feet, where the new moon is, and to allow you to start a new beginning, to start this aligning between subconscious and conscious, to align your subconscious to what your conscious wants to achieve, and to start moving forward, because it's so hard to move forward when your feet are tied up as well to the past. And what happens is that after that, this new moon will bring new beginnings to us, guys. New beginnings to move forward, to break away from an old pattern, and to start a new beginning, which will, sorry, I hear woodpecker. We have an woodpecker in the house. He's been making holes around the house. That's a good sign, but it keeps me losing my train of thought. So those new beginnings, though, they happen in the sign. Now we have to look at the sign this new moon is happening, and it's the sign of Taurus. So it's the crowning, the breaking of those shackles will lead to improved self-worth. Taurus rules self-worth, how much you evaluate yourself. And that's why Taurus also rules money and resources and wealth, because you can be just as abundant in your life. And resources is not only about money and food. Resources is about anything that you consider valuable, considering yourself valuable, considering yourself worthy. This is the deep meaning of the second house. And from it derives the secondary meanings: money, wealth, abundance. Because when you consider yourself worthy, that of the love and the care of the universe, worthy that the and believing that the universe will bring to you, because you are as loved as every other creation and being. But usually when we're born, we're told the opposite. We're told that we're alone. We're told that we get hurt, we get insulted, we get put down and humiliated, and you start thinking you're not worthy. Why would the universe care about a piece of a speck of dust like me? And what is happening is this new moon is breaking shackles that are tying us to wrong beliefs in regards to our self-worth. And once it breaks those at once, and it's a chemical process, it's happening subconsciously, or maybe something happens on the outside that triggers this process, and it's going to liberate for the next 1 month, because a new moon has an influence for 1 month always. It's going to liberate us to have better manifesting ability. Taurus is the most manifesting sign. And actually, because currently the constellation Andromeda falls behind Taurus, in 2000 years, it won't be there. In 2000 years, Andromeda will fall in the constellation of Pisces and Aries. I think it moves the opposite way. But currently in this age, we're being told by this alignment of the constellation of Andromeda with the sign of Taurus is that our biggest karmic blockages, to be tight, to be our biggest problem, especially Andromeda indicates problems in relationships, which get solved after that. She was first chained, then she's saved. And these are all the problems we have in relationship, this bondage that we're connected to, either in relationships, in your personal life, or whatever. It stems from a hurt self-worth, the sign of Taurus. If we fix our self-worth, we can break. If we break those bondages, our self-worth will improve, and we'll start attracting with ease from the universe. Taurus is the sign that is feminine, it's magnetic. When it's happy, its condition is happy, we receive whatever we need. It's like we can sit there in the middle and birds bring you food, and anything that you need, the universe delivers it to you. This is the primordial, most pure state of Taurus. But a lot of us are so hurt in our self-worth. We feel so worthless, so inconsiderate, so undeserving, that we cannot attract. We cannot attract money. We cannot attract the right resources. We cannot attract the universe. We cannot allow. The universe is always taking care of us. It's going to bring everything to us, but because we feel like, oh no, this is it's not your subconscious saying, I can't have good relationships. Look how my parents always were. I can't have money. We don't have money. This is money doesn't grow on trees or whatever. Money is the root of all evils. And I'm so spiritual. These are the wrong beliefs that chain us. But again, as I said, new beginning is happening with this new moon, which will allow you to create more self-worth, and which will allow you to attract more abundance towards you, because remember, it breaks those chains. And Saturn in the south node is exactly what is helping it, because Saturn in the south node is breaking chains. Saturn is chains, south node is to dissolve, to excrete. Pluto is to destroy. So we have destroying chains here that are helping us start this new beginning, to move forward into improved self-worth and improved abundance. And because this new moon is so much about the ability to attract material success, to be taken care of, to be able to fulfill our material needs, we are making a special manifesting ceremony with Angelique. It's going to be a workshop on the 12th of May, which is focused exactly on financial manifestation, how to manifest money. And I know we're a spiritual channel, but money is, if you solve out, and actually Angelique is going to mostly work on solving self-worth issues for the subconscious. She's going to work on the subconscious and the conscious. She's going to work with the cult method and psychological methods. And guys, it's 25% off till the 12th of May. After that, it becomes a bit higher. It's $39 only. It's a few hours, very in-depth workshop about manifesting material wealth. And manifesting better, it starts with manifesting and improving your self-worth, removing the blockages to what makes you feel unworthy. And after that, building upon that through the conscious, what we want to attract materially. So do come and join us. This is exactly at the time when after the new moon in Taurus. So the energies for the whole month after that is Taurian allowing it to break shackles. So I always love to align our ceremonies, if we make some ceremony with a very important astrological event, because this is how magic is done. When the stars are at the right places, you do that. So it's like going to the seaside when it's warm. If you go to the seaside when it's cold, you can swim, but you're going to freeze your tushy. And we want to do things when it's easy, when the universe allows us, when it's helping and trying to help us do those things. So that's why I told you all these stories, so you can see that if you can participate, of course, you can do this little ritual on the new moon or the 2 weeks after that for yourself, of releasing chains that are binding you to poverty, releasing chains that are binding you to lower self-esteem, releasing chains that are binding you to some kind of state of not enough, because Taurus is the sign of abundance. It wants to give you new beginning in abundance by breaking the old attachments there to old patterns. So let's see quickly for each sign how it's going to affect you. For Aries, well, Venus is in their sign, this whole week. It continues to help them, but Venus in particular is focused around that star Alpha Rats, which we said, which is about changing thinking patterns. And Venus is receiving hard aspect from Saturn and the South Node. So Aries will have like some realizations, some challenging initially realizations, but that will put them into action. The square aspect is action. That will put them into action. And Aries is a sign that has to take action. If they want things to happen in their life, they take the action. That's their energy. They'll take some action. They'll change something. They'll have some realization now through this new moon. That will push them to take in action that will change their financial situation. They can initiate new financial projects or new activities, which will eventually lead them to more prosperity and abundance, to more because it's their second house, is double whammy. Taurus is there, which is the energy of the second house. So Aries has a unique opportunity now to shift something in their consciousness, to break chains that are binding them to consciousness of not enough, not worthy enough, and to align them and to break out disalignment between subconscious beliefs and conscious expectations. The conscious expectation is, okay, I want to make 50,000 per year, but you're making 20,000, for example. But your subconscious is like, no way, Jose, you're never going to do that. Well, now this new moon can align you, the conscious and the subconscious aligning together to break through those old chains, the Andromeda, the last chains, the feet of Andromeda being held there, and to align the subconscious to the conscious so you can manifest. And it might take actually 1 year for all those ideas that you have, for new resources, for money to come. So it's good time after the new moon to start initiatives connected to creating more self-worth, related to creating more self-love, connected to manifesting more material success. So if you want to speed up that process, join Angelique for the few-hour webinars on breaking the old shackles and manifesting money workshop, guys, but also working on the self-worth issues, which is on the 12th of May. Yes, 12th of May. If you're a Taurus, the new moon is happening right in your sign. So there's, new beginnings are going to be happening, especially after the 5th, 6th. Don't start before that. We want the moon to be visible. And those new beginnings are going to be in many areas of your life, Taurus, because it's in your sign, but they will be connected in some way, because look, something is shifting in your belief systems. Saturn conjunct the South Node there is happening currently in April and May. So your belief system, all belief systems are falling apart, being released. And even you can abandon old goals of yours, your old ideals of yours. But you are trying to rebuild yourself anew. This new moon is trying to rebuild yourself anew. And as I said, it falls at the feet of Andromeda, which is where the last shackles are, the last chains that are holding her. So you're breaking some chains and starting new beginnings in your life that will have lasting consequences in a positive way, because this new moon is trying the South Node. So don't be afraid to let go of something. Whether it's your sun, moon, or ascendant in Taurus, something has to leave your life, but that makes such big space for something new to grow and to expand and It can be even like a new body image that is giving you, because it's your sign. The Taurus is the body. If it's your sun, moon, or ascendant, it symbolizes the body. And maybe some beliefs about your body or about your health generally can be broken down, and new ones can be built now that are healthier, that are more conscious. Or some goals, you can start some new goals about your appearance, about your physical body, about your weight now, that can have very lasting and positive results for you. It can also be any new beginning in your life. You can start a business, you can start some big project, wait for the new moon to become visible. So from next week after that. And you are not, and because you're not afraid to leave behind some old ideals and some old goals, the ninth house is goals, and something your dream, kind of for the future, your vision for the future. You're leaving some old ones, and that will give you new space to start moving forward. Uh, so start for new beginnings. And of course, Taurus is connected with abundance and wealth. This should generate whatever those new beginnings are: more financial stability, more abundance coming to you from the universe, more wealth consciousness. And if you want to facilitate this process, check out the webinar that is 30% off with Angelique workshop. It's a 3-part workshop that she's doing on the 12th of May. Very deep psychological work with occult exercises, as well with psychological, with yogic exercises for releasing, for manifesting money, and releasing unworthiness self issues, because this is where all financial problems stem from: unworthiness. Okay, if you're Gemini, the new moon is happening in your 12th house, and it's definitely very much attuned to the theme. The 12th house is to let go. It's connected to the feet, and this new moon is happening at the feet of Andromeda. So something is, and this Saturn conjunct South Node is sending a trine from your 8th house, Gemini. Both the 8th and 12th houses are houses of past lives, of traumas, of things in our subconscious that are buried deep, and that control our subconscious, maybe not necessarily what we want to do consciously. But these are very powerful signs of moksha, where the big action is happening next week. Moksha means liberation. So especially for Gemini, there is a strong, they're allowed to liberate and to release a lot more than other signs. There'll be this breaking of chains that happens. They'll feel it particularly strongly. And it might happen almost on the subconscious level in some way, because it's like they're releasing traumas from the past. They're releasing 12 houses, past lifetimes as well. So some awareness can come to them that is buried memory, or buried behavior or action, which is undermining, which is self-sabotaging for them. And it can, for you, you won't even have to make some action, guys. If you have strong Gemini, something will happen in your subconscious that liberates you, that allows you to break the chains with the past, and that will allow more abundance in your life. Because remember, the sign Taurus is about material abundance. So something that's been blocking you towards attracting your portion of what you deserve according to the universe. Everyone deserves everything, but something that is blocking you in your subconscious to receive from the universe without effort is going to be released for you. And if you want to be helped in this process, check out the webinar with Angelique. It's a workshop that works exactly on manifesting money. It's during Taurus season on the 12th of May. When you do it when the stars are aligned, it will happen so much easier. That's why we're not doing it in, for example, February, which has nothing to do with generating financial wealth and releasing blockages in regards to that. So if you want to escalate this process, you can either do a ceremony yourself of releasing those patterns that are blocking you, that are tying you to poverty, those subconscious ones, so tying you to financial problems, so to lack of abundance, or you can participate in a group activity like the one that we're building, that we've created for the 12th with Angelique. All right, if you're Cancer, this new moon is happening in your 11th house. There'll be new beginnings in your social environment. Actually, the 11th house is very money related. and it's in Taurus, the sign of money. 11th house, the house of gains. So if something is blocking you, chaining you there, the last chains of Andromeda, where the new moon is happening, chaining you to not having enough gains, to not receiving the recognition that you deserve. The 11th house is the rewards for your work. Are you putting work and the rewards are kind of not really what you want? Like you do a great project and your boss doesn't even give you a bonus for it, or uh, you're working so hard, but you're not getting a raise. The 11th house is the rewards for our efforts. Well, if something is blocking it there, there is a chain. The new moon indicates a chain star that it wants to break. What is allowing them to break that is the Saturn conjunct South Node. What is giving you help with breaking it is an advice from someone there in the 7th house. It's also a partner or relationship actually that you can release. Maybe you're holding on to some clients because you're afraid to let go, but Saturn with the South Node says release those clients and I'll bring you new beginnings in regards to gains. Or maybe you're holding on to this relationship. Saturn in the 7th house is marriage partner, and your partner is, for example, he's like, I'm not gonna leave that job, I'm afraid. What happens is your partner leaves that job, and actually that generates new financial gains for you in some way because of how the planets are aligned. Or maybe you're holding on to that business partnership and you're like, but actually you need to change something, you need to release something there. This is what the South Node Saturn wants to release, let go of something, allow it to die or get it out of your life, or chop off certain areas of that partnership, that contract, that agreement, that relationship with someone. And this new abundance will manifest in your life, and new contacts will appear for you. Someone influential, someone with business positions, someone with the right positions to help you fulfill some dreams of yours can manifest in the next few weeks for you, Cancer. And if you've been stuck with some kind of the same social group, and our social group and our friends, the people that we hang around, they determine how wealthy we'll be. They determine our state of abundance, the consciousness of abundance. Because if they're constantly complaining about money, or if they're constantly saying how things are not working out for them, if they're constantly besieged by problems, you will vibrate in the same way. Believe me, friends and our social environment, the people we hang out with, people we drink our beer with, whatever, constantly, even our colleagues or whatever, these people determine our levels of. That's why the 11th house is friends, but also wealth. If you have good friends that are positive, ambitious, that talk positive, that say how, of course, not bragging fakely, but who are like proactive, who are not in a victimized state, you're gonna be like that. You're gonna get inspired by that. So something can happen now. You can release certain relationships that you're holding on to, and attachments, even advice you can receive from someone that's going to be helpful for you to start some new social circle, or start to hang out in different Facebook groups or different friendships that can shift your consciousness towards more abundance, make some new social contacts. But if you'd like to speed up this process, we're making a workshop, on the 12th, with Angelique. Angelique is doing it. There are going to be some subconscious and conscious work, psychological, occult methods. She's also a healer. She heals from distance, so she'll be activating that energy. And because it's aligned with the new moon in Taurus, there'll be so much ease. It's just like the whole universe will conspire to help you in that task. If you're Leo, the new moon is happening in your 10th house. So if you've been stuck somewhere in your career, 10th house is career, you've been chained like Andromeda. There's a last chain there. And there is something you're unhappy, of course. There will be liberation coming there. There will be unstucking from that situation in regards to your career. There will be some new project that comes. There will be some new development, or in regards to your social status, and your worldly actions. It doesn't, even if you don't have a career, it's the actions that you do, your activities. This is the 10th house. Your activities, you might feel stuck in your activities, what to do next, where to put most of your efforts. The 10th house, the house of efforts. Well, there will be some new project, some new inspiration coming to you, and a new way of seeing, especially if there is something karmic that is connected to family, ancestral family kind of blockages in regards to career, worldly success, ability to take assertive action and executive decisions. If there's some blockage there karmically, this new moon can help break those, chains, and it will manifest the positive results by attracting new actions, new inspired actions, new career opportunities possible as well, And also the South Node, Saturn conjunction, and Pluto are helping with the trine from the sixth house connected to habits. You'd release some old habits. Don't be afraid to release some old habits, especially if they're health habits, like some drinking, smoking. So if you make some sacrifice here, what's going to help you? Make some sacrifice, release a bad habit, maybe waking up late, maybe having your office messy, maybe not taking, some habit that you've always done, release it, or maybe eating some food that's not healthy, release it, sacrifice it. That's what the South Node Saturn wants. And that will help spur and or some work. Sixth house is also some work habit, some work technique. Release that, or even some work project. Don't be afraid if some work is going away from your life. Some employment, for example, Saturn in the sixth house of employment with the South Node currently. You might even have to quit a job or release a work project that is just, it's stagnating you. And when you do that, this new moon breaks the chains for you and allows some new powerful career opportunities to appear, some new powerful, more inspirational goals and activities for you to work on, which will be based on better self approval, better self worth, because Taurus is the sign of self worth, and which will lead to more financial abundance, because this is the energy of Taurus. Will lead to opening yourself to receive from the universe more easily, the natural energy of Taurus, to receive easily from the universe. And if you want to facilitate this process, do a ritual around the new moon, or the 2 weeks after that, when the new moon is most active. Or you can join us, you can join Angelique on the 12th of May on Sunday with a live workshop working on the subconscious and conscious self-worth blockages, releasing them. She has healing energy. She'll help with that as well. She'll send it. And manifesting money. And I know for you it affects other areas like career and stuff, but they're connected. All right. If you're Virgo, the new moon is happening in your ninth house. It's very much about new belief systems that are being formed. Actually, you might have felt stuck in some regards to believing about what possibilities can come to you, especially material possibilities, because it's Taurus, especially such a abundance. You might have felt like you're having like especially if you feel like someone who does not have faith. The ninth house is the faith, the house of faith, of the belief that the universe is taking care of us, or believe that the universe is cruel and that we're left alone, and that, unless you, no one will help you. And these are your beliefs. So this new moon is illuminating that there are some beliefs in your life that are coming from your family, because it's Andromeda chained to the rock, because of her parents. So there is something wrong in your belief system that are limiting, that are that are chaining you to our stuck situation, and they stem from a family, and you're gonna release them. That you're gonna be able to release them. And you see the South Node Saturn, which is the energy of releasing. It's helping release. Something is being released actually in your fifth house here. And the fifth house is again one very house of beliefs, it's inspirations, but you might even have to sacrifice some kind of something fifth house, which will lead you to improving your beliefs and bringing new opportunities for you. New opportunities, because ninth house is the house of opportunities, of course, and they're very much financially connected to financial abundance, connected to more material abundance in your life. So what you might have to sacrifice, and don't be afraid to sacrifice it, let it go. It's outdated relationships, love relationships. It's outdated activity with certain outdated things that you do for your child. For example, you do something, you do something because you think it's better for your children. So you change something in your relationship with your children, and that will allow new abundance coming here through this new moon. Or you change something about how you allow your lovers and boyfriends and girlfriends to treat you, and let go of something. This is South Node Pluto, let go, you know. And also, and that allows for new opportunity, more financial abundance opportunity to come. Or you let go of some fifth houses, how we, have fun, some outdated way of having fun, or some outdated way of entertainment. Maybe you're clinging on to how you to party times. You're clinging on to, some old version of yourself, of how you have fun, of how you party, of what your creative projects are. Maybe you're holding on to a creative project which is maybe it's outlived its purpose, and you're going to, if you release it, um, it's basically, this immediately helps you develop new opportunities in your life. This ninth house is new opportunities. There might be opportunity for travel that appears for you over the next few weeks, opportunities to study and learn something, opportunities to even at ninth house is the house of crash courses, like take a seminar, webinar, stuff like that. And something, and the ninth house is your higher mind, so something to reprogram your higher mind, which can be especially in regards to your beliefs about worthiness, beliefs about wealth, beliefs about abundance, and to reprogram it so you can receive with more ease. You might have to let go of certain things that you're attached to here, the fifth house, that are pleasurable usually for you, that gives you, that you think give you pleasure, but they no longer are. And that you think are fun, but they no longer are. And those windows of opportunity, especially of abundance, will open up. And if you want help with this process, we're making a webinar workshop on the 12th of May. It's 30% off with Angelique. She's going to work on the subconscious and the conscious beliefs. She's going to release the subconscious blockages about self-love and self-worth, and teach you how to do it with occult methods and exercises, and some kind of witchcrafty, not witchcrafty, but candle work and the likes. And she's gonna reprogram again how to attract more abundance, how to attract more, manifest more money actually, and material opportunities. So that's perfect during the Taurus season, because it's aligned with those things. And as we said, Taurus is on Andromeda, breaking the chains from the past. Perfect time for such psychological work. All right, if you are if Gemini, if Virgo, for your opportunities for study, for travel appear, take them. For some work on reprogramming the higher mind appears, take them. They'll be very auspicious. If you're Libra, this is happening in your eighth house, the new moon. And the eighth house, and actually the Saturn conjunct South Node is happening in your fourth house. They're both emotional houses, they're both hidden houses. As Libras, you might feel this more subtly. It's happening more on the subconscious. This new moon is allowing you to kind of press the reset button on your subconscious, connected to traumas, connected to painful experiences that are chaining you, like Andromeda's leg is chained to the rocks. And these are due to ancestral family beliefs and family patterns that you are getting you stuck in some way. And they're getting you, the eighth house is trauma, but it's also what prevents us from making a full 180 degrees turnaround. The eighth house, the house of profound change, to turn something around in the opposite direction. So there will be a powerful release psychologically from family karma, Saturn with the South Node in the fourth house, release, letting go. You might be letting go of a place of living over the next 1 month. And funny enough, my husband is Libra. We're leaving to live in another continent. We're leaving the house that he's lived in for 20 years. We're leaving his family. So there is this sacrifice that Saturn with the South Node requires in the fourth house here this month. It's maybe for some of you started already. Family, let go, or let go of place of living, belonging, or let go of certain part of your home or family, or certain family relationships. So let go of it might even destroy the family structure of some people, the personal life structure of some people. Don't be afraid of that. Allow it, let it go. It's going, this process is going, and it's also, it can help you release trauma or pain that comes to you from your family, from from the past, and to forgive, because Saturn is resentment. The South Node empties that resentment, so you can release resentment towards family that is chaining you and that has been blocking you to have abundance. Of course, Taurus is connected to abundance. There is a good aspect from Saturn, the South Node, to the new moon in Taurus, and it's connected to the family. Either it's resentment or something. Let go of those things, and it can coincide with actual letting go of something with the family or home or property. It's like cutting the roots there, the connection with those areas, even if it's temporarily. Um, and that will allow you to make a turnaround of 180 degrees. This eighth house Taurus will be triggered for you, Libra. So you can have like the eighth house is like a washing, like a tornado. It can spin you so much, and you can be reborn a different person out of there. So don't be afraid of those destructive or dying processes here with family, personal life, with traumas from the past. Release them. This will help you have a total healing. Eighth house is the house of healing. To miracle happenings as well is the eighth house. So this new moon is activating there, almost like you can have a ancestral karma end for you, because you're changing your thinking in some way. You're releasing something from the past attachment, and it allows you to do a 180-degree change to start and to attract more abundance, because it is Taurus, to heal something as well. To you, some healing can happen for some of your Libras on a deep level, because some release of feelings is happening, and always health issues can stemming from they start on the mental, then they go to the emotional level, and then they manifest on the physical. So because you're releasing those traumas, the physical, suddenly they can be like miraculous healing of some sort. I wish that for you. um, and liberating processes, these are liberating the 8th, the 12th house, and they can lead to more abundance in your life, because the 8th house is also connected to resources that come to you from others. So basically receiving without you putting effort. And if you allow this release to happen, you can actually even unblock your partner, because the 8th house is the resources of a partner, business or personal marriage, to manifest more material, to come up with more ideas in the next month. Or you will receive some support, more financial growth, or new ideas connected with mutual resources, to banks, to inheritances, to insurances, or to businesses, investments. The 8th house is connected to all of those. All right, if you are Scorpio, the new moon is happening in your 7th house, guys, in the house of relationships for you. And there's showing, this new moon is highlighting that some chains have to come off, have to be broken, the last chains that are holding the leg of Andromeda. So and it will bring you, and you remember how the myth ends. Yes, she was chained, that was unhappy first. So if you have some beliefs or behaviors or relationships that has chained you to the wall, that has made you feel less than, that makes you suffer, that is affecting your self-worth. Taurus is self-worth, and you think you're not deserving or not good enough. You think you deserve that suffering, something is going to help break it. Actually, Saturn with the South Node are making trine to this new moon. So some kind of third house is your thinking. Something is changing. You're letting go of old thinking patterns, of old third houses. People are in your life as well. You can even have to let go, like a relationship with sibling, with friend, with a relative, um, or in some sense, some liberating advice from a friend can come, or from someone in a circle can come, which can liberate you from repeating patterns in your relationships as well. But it's almost like you'll be given the possibility to press the reset button in regards to relationships, especially if for a long time those relationships have been limiting for you, if you felt stuck in a relationship. So don't be afraid to let go of some relationship, because new ones will appear for you within the next 1 month, that can lead to, and remember, this star, Almach, where the new moon is happening at, is the star of reconciling broken relationships, reconciling lovers, and brings happy love. So you will have to sacrifice something here. I don't know exactly what it is for each one of you personally, but something, some outdated belief or something gets sacrificed, And that leads, it can lead you, and you might even have to sacrifice a relationship of some sort, but it can lead to new beginning, happy beginning, in regards to breaking the chains that are tying you to karmic patterns and repeating patterns of unhappy business or personal relationships, of unhappy contracts. And you will attract new contracts over the next 1 month. You would attract new relationships, new collaborations, or you will reset a already existing relationship to the next level, which is no longer chained, that can take you to the next level of happiness. Because remember, the star has the nature of Venus, of happy relationships. So I wish that for you a lot, Scorpios, because there is this opportunity. And actually, those new relationships will be based on you improving your self-worth. Something is happening alchemically, that the universe is supporting you now to shift your consciousness and to start feeling more deserving, that you can receive more happiness through business partnership, that you can receive more through business partnership, through collaboration, or through marriage partnerships, or that you can receive more from relationships. We only receive as good a partner as we believe we're worth it. And you might believe with your conscious mind you're worth it way more, but with your subconscious you don't. Obviously, if you're attracting partners that are not good or equal, you don't really believe you're worth it. And we're gonna have a workshop on self-worth, with Angelique on the 12th of May. Check it out, Scorpios, because it's going to be resolving. Because it's the sign of Taurus, it's the season of Taurus. This is the best time to do workshop on working on self-worth. And the workshop is called Manifesting Money. But it will be the final result of this. Of this webinar. It's not only about manifesting money. The first part, we're going to work on resolving self-worth issues. And for you, Scorpios, it's not going to just lead to possibility of attracting better relationships. It's going to lead to the possibility of attracting better relationship that lead to more financial abundance and more financial freedom, just like Andromeda gets liberated. All right, so if you're Sagittarius, the new moon is happening in your 6th house. Okay, so 6th house is important developments are going to be happening in new beginnings in regards to your health. Say if you've been tied to some health issue, because you witnessed that your mom was hypochondriac, your dad had problem with sounds, now you have problem, you're hypersensitive to sounds, or you were taught from little that, oh, we have diabetes in our family, very likely now you probably have it. If you're stuck in some health situation that is karmic, that's connected to ancestral patterns and the beliefs that you form by observing your environment. This is what Andromeda, the innocent soul that the new moon emphasizes, was about. She didn't go commit sins herself, but she kind of saw that it was her environment, her family. Because of her family, she was chained. So I'm not saying your family are awful people. I'm saying a lot of the problems, the situation where we stuck up, they stem from family issues. So if you have such health issue, there is a possibility now, especially if you tune into it consciously, to break through those chains, to change something in your thinking that shifts there and helps you find a solution of some sort, helps you start. It's the new moon is at the feet of Andromeda, so she can start moving finally, not be chained anymore to that rock. So, and it might be also connected to victimization beliefs. You might feel like you might gain clarity and awareness now that you've allowed yourself to accept the victim behavior in regards to an illness or in regards to some kind of unfairness. The 6th house here for you, it's Taurus, is the house of inequality, unfairness, imbalance. So it rules diseases, it rules unequal relationships, it rules slavery, it rules bondage, it rules addictions. Anything that is out of balance, that is unhealthy, is the 6th house. And divorce, it rules divorce. Anyone anyone who shouts at you, who abuses you, who puts you in a victim state. So this new moon can break shackles in regards to that, psychologically. And you only are in this state in some stagnation, whether it's, and 6th house is your work as well. So if you feel unworthy and undeserving, which is Taurus, the sign, you might be attracting, because you feel unworthy, you're of healing, you're stuck in that health problem because you feel unworthy of receiving better conditions at work, even though you might be complaining and saying this is not fair, it's not nice, but inwardly you feel like, well, subconsciously you might feel like, well, that subconsciously you don't even feel it. It's a vibration. Subconsciously, it's a vibration. You don't think about it. So you subconsciously vibrate with less self-worth. So you're gonna attract those unequal. You might have been attracting those unequal treatments, but now they can be a focus, and you can realize through some experience that enough is enough. This I feel worthy, and actually new moons are about building something anew. So you can start building some new self-worth, that you deserve better job, that you deserve better health, that you deserve better health habits. So it can be fantastic time to start new health habits, new diet, to break the chains of connection. Maybe no one in your family exercise. You'll be the first one to break, just like Andromeda broke from those chains, to start exercising. Or you'll be the first one to become a vegetarian, or you might be the first one, to start some health routine and regime. Or you might be the first one that walks, that says, I'm not gonna stay serving in this position anymore. I'm gonna break through that. I'm not afraid. I have to let go of something, and new opportunities will appear. So this new moon can present you with new opportunities for career, new opportunities for work, for health, and plus you might have to sacrifice something. The South Node with Saturn and Pluto is in your second house. You might have to sacrifice some source of income, or some resource, or some valuable possession that you're attached to. You have to let it go because it's outlived its purpose in your life. But somehow this will live. And second house is food. You might have to release some food habit, um, some comfort of some sort, but this will lead you to improved health, new beginnings in your health, maybe improved environment at work, improved work opportunities as well. And of course, the new moon in the sixth house can introduce new work projects to you. On the most mundane level, you can expect that, but something will shift in your self-worth in regards to the sixth house. You might start feeling like, I'm worthy. I'm more worthy. More worthy, and I don't need to stay in this addiction. Sixth house is addictions as well, and chemical imbalances, and you can feel like, okay, I love myself more now. I cannot be in this, because I love myself more. I cannot be in this imbalance anymore. I don't deserve it. I deserve better. So something like that can start shifting, or you can start feeling like, I love myself enough. I cannot tolerate this imbalance situation. I deserve better. I don't deserve people to attack me. I don't deserve people to take advantage of me. Sixth house, the house of abuse, being taken advantage of as a servant. And you will start something new. You will start some new actions. They're not going to be angry actions. Don't think that. This new moon is gentle. It's in Taurus. It's trine. Has trines towards it. It has sextile to Neptune. You're going to take some gentle, loving action towards yourself that raises you out of some imbalanced situations connected to the sixth house, whether health, work, being taken advantage of, um, being treated unfairly, unequally. And by the way, these situations are diminishing your abundance. Taurus is the sign of receiving easily from the universe, financial, material abundance. If you start shifting in that direction and starting these new beginnings that we said, like with accepting a new job, starting a new workout routine, or a new food routine of some sort, or shifting your perspective in regards to who you allow such kind of uh, disturbing, unbalancing people situation in your life, and it's going to create more abundance in your life eventually. So it can be like you find a new job. Don't be afraid to let go of an old one that gives you financial security. Saturn in the second house, release of that fear of the financial security. New one will appear, and it can give you more abundance itself. And if you want to facilitate this process, we're doing a workshop, on the 12th of May on the internet with Angelique. It's going to be a few hours. It's going to use candle work. It's going to use psychological programming, NLP, neutral lingual programming. The programming of the subconscious and the conscious, and is focused on your self-worth. But the final results, one of the things will be abundance. And the final result of this is manifesting more money and material resources. So do join us. It's 30% off for the next week and a half. If you're Capricorn, this new moon is happening in your fifth house, and it wants to release you from the chains of unhealthy patterns connected to your love life. It wants to release you from the chains of unhealthy patterns connected to um, your relationships with your children, or also it wants to release you from unhealthy patterns connected to fifth house is how we have fun, how we enjoy ourselves, and maybe you're chained to some kind of unhealthy way of having fun, unhealthy way of entertaining yourself. But this new moon allows you to realign your subconscious to your conscious vision of how you want things to be there, and maybe to have better love relationships. So it gives you like you ability to press the reset button in regards to your love life, reset button in regards to your relationship with children, reset button in regards to your creative projects. You can start, you can get new ideas to create something new now. And actually, you know, uh, Capricorns, you're going to release something from your life. Saturn, your planet, is conjunct the South Node these 2 months, April and May. So you're in a big process of shedding your old skin, of shedding who you are from before, and shedding outdated, encrusted behaviors and structures in your life, which is what Saturn indicates, and it's happening in your sign. Don't be afraid. You might feel like you're losing yourself. You might feel like old you is dying and you're like, I don't know what's happening, I'm lost. South node is Ketu. It's a dragon's tail without a head, and you might feel like, I'm losing my head, I don't know what's happening. And don't be afraid to let go of this symbolical mini death process to happen to you. The more you let go and go with the flow, the South Node is to release and to trust the flow of God and go with it and release whatever old things you're letting go. And Pluto is creating some destroy and rebuild energies there in your life as well. But this will help you if you allow this audio, if you release, if you let go. It will help you have some new creative inspiration that comes to you. Fifth house is where the new moon is happening, is where we feel inspiration to start something that makes us feel alive, that makes us feel meaningful and connected to the flow of the universe. So some new inspirational ideas will come to you, whether for your business, whether for your life. Some new love can appear. If you're allowing this process of destruction happening in your life, of yourself, of releasing the old, some new or a renewal of your love life. It might be with the same person, like it's pressing the restart button that improves your love life in some sort. But also, if you've been shackled, as I said, this new moon is about breaking shackles. Um, you yourself are helping. Saturn in the first house with South Node are helping this unshackling and disconnecting from unhealthy patterns in your love life, in your children, ancestral patterns, and allowing for new ones to appear now. And if there was some creative block as well, it can be unleashed now. It can be creative flow can start happening again from the end of next week, after the new moon. And another level is Taurus is here. The new moon is in Taurus. Whatever Taurus is, this is our ability to attract from the universe, to manifest easily materially without effort. Taurus is Venusian sign. So we're seeing here that there will be a new opportunity for you to attract abundance because you're improving your self-worth, or what you believe you're worthy. And by the way, fifth house is the house of gambling, and the house of just winning the lotto, and the house of basically taking a risk, taking a chance and winning for it. And this new moon can indicate that some kind of you can take a chance or a risk and win something new from there. So don't be afraid to take risks, actually, because this new moon has a lot of good aspects, with Saturn, the South Node, with Neptune. So even it's okay for you to even play the lotto, some of you. If you have indications that you can win something, maybe now you can. But it's mostly about releasing old shackles that are blocking, because this is where Andromeda falls in your fifth house, blocking abundance coming to you through the universe with ease, and blocking your fifth house in the house, one of the houses of luck, that's blocking your luck, and it's very good if you start some new projects after the new moon which are creative, which are business. Fifth house is connected to all those things because they can actually create new sources of abundance for your life, material success. But you are going to improve your self-worth, and that's going to reflect on the kind of people you attract as boyfriends, girlfriends, or lovers, so the kind of romantic uh, love and attention you get from your already existing marriage partner. And also, you're going to improve your self-worth in such a way and break up with wrongful self-worth vibration caused to you by ancestral patterns, which make you feel which are blocking your creativity, blocking your joy of life. So you can be liberated now. And by the way, remember that the star is connected to happy love or reconciling lovers. There can be some new beginnings for some of you there, or it can be because you're shifting something in your whole life that attracts those new positive romantic relationships, creative ideas to you that lead to more stability, abundance, and sensual and material pleasures in life. And you can join us at at the workshop on the 12th of May, which will be about exactly focusing on this new moon and about improving your self-worth, reprogramming the subconscious from wrong beliefs about what you're worth. And there will be subconscious work and conscious work. There will be energy healing, and it's 20-30% off till the 12th of May. Angelique is going to lead this money manifesting ceremony, but the first part of it is all about healing self-worth and self-love, because once you have this in place, you start attracting easily. And as I said, for you, I think you'll attract more luck, more improve relationships with romantically and creative ideas. All right, if you're Aquarius, this new moon is happening in your fourth house. There can be some new beginnings happening in regards to your family, place of living, and actually in the next 1 month. And this is when we're moving to a new continent again. We're moving to live in a new house, a new place, a new yeah, we're leaving the States. So yeah, very correct for me, being an Aquarius rising, new beginnings there. And it can also indicate that you're cutting ties with the past, because Saturn, our planet, is conjunct the South Node the whole April and May, but now in particular the first week of May, the last week of April, the first week of May, it's most intense. So don't forget, Aquarius, you're in a powerful period of shedding your skins, letting go of old things. Don't be afraid to leave something behind. The 12th house and the South Node, that where Saturn is with. Saturn is us, remember. It's all about letting go. It's all about allowing yourself to go with the flow, not trying to control everything. Don't try to be like micromanage everything, control everything. Relax into this kind of the 12th house is the cosmic river of forces that are more powerful than us. If you try to paddle upstream, it's not going to work now. Just go with that process, relax into it. It doesn't mean don't make any effort on anything and be a slob for a few weeks. No, do what is required from you. Do the best always. This is the attitude of the karma yogi. You always do the best you can, but you relax about the final result. And that's the attitude we have to have now in April and in May. Because somehow powers, it's above the it's kind of our things are happening around us beyond our control, or they've been put into action before and now we're seeing results, and now they're resolutions, and now they're endings of some sort. And there might be like a dissolving of an old life of ours, of who we think we are, because this is Saturn with the South Node, to excrete the old, to let go of the old skin. We might feel a bit directionless. The South Node that our planet is with, Saturn, is without a head. It doesn't have a direction, it doesn't have a plan. And it's in the 12th house, the house of the primordial energies. Like, unless you have clear psychic vision, you're probably kind of like, where the hell am I going? I don't know. I'll just trust the downward stream and I'll go with it. So, that might be a good attitude to remember for a few weeks now. But it can be a great time to release old habits, old addictions, self-sabotaging behaviors. You might not even have to make an effort for it. They might just kind of peel themselves out. Well, maybe with Saturn rule, we always have to make some effort. That's the nature of our sign. But this releasing that you're doing, it's helping with breaking the chains of some ancestral karma, because the new moon that falls on the chain that's on the leg of Andromeda, the chained lady, which was chained because of her family. It's in the fourth house of family as well. So something that our family has through actions or karma or whatever, that's repeating pattern, we can see through that, and we can align, and we can disconnect ourselves from this, and we can align our subconscious to our conscious vision about how we want our family life to be, of how we want, and we can almost like rewrite the karmic, um, the family karma in our heads, or and create a new direction there. So there can be new beginnings in your personal life, with vehicles, with family. It can be just psychologically that something like that is happening, that you're gaining some new self-worth, that you're working on improving your self-worth, because it's Taurus, and your self-worth might have been lower because of family patterns, because your family, for example, have self-worth, or because your family have smashed your self-worth in some way. And something magically is happening here, because you're doing this releasing, from the 12th house, that is helping you release harmful, and that's helping you create new healthier, because new moon is about creating something new, creating new healthier beliefs, self-worth and self-love. Taurus is self-worth and self-love, and um, and that's going to generate more financial opportunities or resources connected to manifesting home or property, connected to creating a happier family environment and home environment, or attracting the fourth house, the house of that rules luxuries, the bigger things in life, not just the money in your bank and your clothes, like cars and houses, and the stored buried treasures, as they call them, immovable kind of um, abundance. So if something, and there is something that's been blocking you, and that's family ancestral patterns, that it's coming from there, and beliefs. And now this new moon can illuminate you those wrong beliefs, then can help you attract more abundance financially for yourself and for your family, and new opportunities that come to you. And if you want to facilitate this process, make some ritual at home, or come and join us. We're doing a professional ritual led by a healer, shaman, psychologist, Angelique, and it's happening on the 12th of May. It's after the new moon, so we're in the energy of the Taurus new moon, so it's the best time to do manifesting ceremonies for material success, for money. But the most important work she'll be doing there is aligning your subconscious expectations and feelings of unworthiness to your conscious desires, and cleaning up your self-worth issues on a very deep level, because all financial problems and abundance problems comes from self-worth issues. And that's going to be the work we're doing with in a group. There's power in numbers, as you know. The energy multiplies a lot more when there are groups of people focusing their consciousness in the same direction. So that will be a very powerful ceremony. So if you can join us, it's 30% off or 25% off. All right, and finally, Pisces. Pisces, you're kind of like alchemical sign this month. You're kind of doing some magic work for everyone, because Neptune here is making a sextile to the new moon and a sextile to Saturn and Pluto in the south node. So you're connecting through a figure the two important developments this week, the new moon and Saturn conjunct south node, which is so rare. It happens once every I don't know, 17, 18 years or something like that. So this event, Celestial, you're like the balancing person there, and you're like the one with the magic touch now, this new moon, because Neptune is the focal figure that balances, and this is a figure that looks like a roof of a house, a bisextile, it's called. When a planet sends two 60 degrees aspects to two other configurations, it's like a roof of a house that protects you. So you have like, and when I've worked with psychics, people that have bisextiles in their horoscope, the psychics always see more angels around them. There's protection, more protection around them, because like they have like a mission and they're being protected for that. So this is happening in your sign is being activated with this bisextile now, and you might be asked to play some balancing role for others. You might be asked to be some kind of a protective figure, but also you're protected yourself, because the planets are, um, it's the peak of the peak of the house is in your sign. So it's, I don't know, you will receive help. Look, you're receiving help from the new moon, and you're receiving help from the Saturn south node. So I'm going to tell you, don't be afraid to let go of whatever Saturn the south node is. Something really good will come out of that. You might have to be asked to release a friendship, or a social group of some sort, or leave a group or a membership, release it, or even kind of destroy your whole, release and let go of your whole social environment of some sort, maybe leave somewhere. Don't be afraid to do that. It's going to have a positive influence. You're protected in that process. And you might have the 11th house, the house of gains. So some source of income you might have to let go of. Don't be afraid of that again. Because look what is happening. Your planet is also making a sextile, very supporting aspect to the new moon, and in Taurus, which is financial sign. And Saturn with the south node is making very supportive trine aspect to the new moon. And this means that if you let go of something, as I said, it might be a social network, it might be a social connection, it might be some kind of client even, it might be some kind of group or membership, or it might be some kind of source of income, you can release it. But the new opportunities, and this new moon is in the third house, it's again social house, new social contacts, associates can appear, even clients, new social commercial businesses, the third house can appear for you. New skills can appear to you, or new sources of information can appear for you in the next month, which create more financial abundance, which create more stability for you. And remember that this is the new moon is happening at the shackle at the feet of Andromeda that was tied to the rock. So something that is tying you to some kind of a stuck situation and an unhealthy situation can be liberated now for you, and it's going to lead to more. I'm sorry, it's when the baby cries and there are people watching her. It's but that's all the time, so I lose my train of thought. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, so you can, and it's like pressing the restart button at your social connections and relationships, releasing some, but some new will appear, and some help and support to come to you from brothers or sisters or relatives or co-workers, teammates, workmates, or new associates of some sort. Someone can reach out to you and connect to you as well. Or if you want to start new beginnings, you can. But to be honest, this is a passive sign that the new moon is happening, and I think people will reach out to you. And there'll be also some kind of a new commercial projects that come to you, or some new course that you can study. Third house is to learn some new skills, and those new skills that appear to you over the next 1 month, or those new kind of work, because third house is about using your skills and knowledge to create something, to working in a group with others as a small group, using your intelligence, using your acquired skills, something that appears in regards to those things, whether it's a new skill, a new course to study, will bring to more abundance. It will bring and will lead to improved self-worth for yourself. And some new skills that you acquire, they would improve your self-worth, and they would lead to further financial abundance. And because the new moon is happening, the third house is the house of thinking. And remember, it's with Andromeda, and it's with the foot of Andromeda. So some thinking that we've inherited, that we've seen, some way of thinking, of talking from our family, you become aware of it, and you realize that it's been blocking you in regards to your abundance. The third house, the house of the words we use. So if you constantly using, for example, like expressions like you have to work hard to attract finances, you have to work, money doesn't grow on tree, the more you work, the more money you have. Sometimes it's not true. Sometimes you can see people that sometimes the more they work, the less they have, or Sometimes people that work just 2 hours per day have a lot more. So something, the words that you're using, the thoughts that you're having that are tied to family, that are tied to how family was talking to you when you were growing up, in your growing up environment, which is the third house. You can break those shackles now. You can become aware of it. And that's also decreasing. It's been decreasing and blocking you to manifest more abundance and to attract more easily. Taurus is to attract easily what we want. And as we said, those shackles are breaking down, so we can get now, you can, through this improved understanding that we deserve better, and this understanding of how we are using words wrongly, you can liberate yourself towards more abundance. And if you want to help with that process, we're doing a live workshop. Angelique is doing it using NLP, using occult and psychological, all modern psychological methods and ancient. I think she's using, not sure if it's Vedic methods. I have to ask her, but there will be it will be like a ceremonial workshop. There will be candle work. There will be Western and Eastern occult methods that are exactly targeted at manifesting more money and reprogramming your mind to, and releasing restricting belief systems in regards to your self-worth, healing the self-worth and the self-love. So there we go, guys. Interesting week. This new moon is very well aspected. Still, though, the Saturn conjunct South Node continues. So it means we have to release something, but this new moon will bring us something new. So thank you so much. Hope that was helpful to you. And yeah, check out our courses as well online. We have a lot of new courses. Natalia is doing Abundance Manifesting course on the 27th of May as well. And me and Victor continue to be doing the predictive course. So yeah, for now, this is what's happening. Thank you.